Really, what is life? What is death? What am I doing here? Who am I without?
I sat up in bed and I realized in that instant of sitting up in bed and breathing, I went, "Ugh," like this breathing in air. I realized I hadn't been breathing the whole time that I had been in this experience. And I made that sound so loudly, it woke Tony up, and he sat up and said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I said, "I don't know, but my life will never be the same again."
It got bigger and bigger and brighter until it was filling in every direction, and it was made up of lights and flames and white, and just got closer and closer, and then all of a sudden it hit me.
But suddenly there was like this kind of like this portal just opened, that there I could just sense that I have access to all the information in the universe.
So I had like this very deep connection with my team, offered up this prayer, and within like 2 months, my entire life fell apart. So, spirit doesn't mess around. And when you ask, it is always given.
And then in that dream, I understood that what I am is mirrored throughout the whole cosmos, that I'm part of all of that. I am literally part of everything in the cosmos, and all of that is part of me. It can be seen by me through these mirrors. And so I felt like this web of life, you cannot unplug from it. You cannot get out of it. No matter what you do, you are in it, and it is glorious. And all of that energy and potential and creativity and possibility is ours. And that all of the universe is reflected in our very being, in our very selves. And everything that we are is reflected throughout the whole universe too. There is no separateness. There is no such thing as anything being separate.
2020, what a ride. My life is 100,000 times better than I ever imagined it could be.
Well, hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And welcome to everybody who is watching on the Buddhist Biohacker YouTube channel. If you are catching the replay later, welcome in. And for everyone on audio, welcome in for iHeartRadio, Spotify, Podbean, Google Play, Pandora, all of those places. That's where we are. My name is Lisa. I am your mystic guide and host of the Buddhist Biohacker channel. And we are here with our special series we're doing this year called the Diamond Beauties. And just for everybody to have some context, I really have this strong pull and connection to the high heart or the seat of the soul. And it's this beautiful crystalline diamond space. And within that space, I thought of these incredible women that I have connected with that represent that crystalline diamond compassionate energy that lies there in the seat of the soul. And I am so excited because we are here today with Claudette Dean, who is an artist and an author and a poet and all things amazing. So welcome, Claudette. I'm so happy to have you.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. It's a pleasure to be with you. And thank you for considering me a diamond beauty, because you certainly are one. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited to talk to you, and welcome to everybody who's joining in the live. Welcome to our new members who are part of the membership community here in YouTube. So hi, Karen, welcome in. You guys can share your comments and questions for Claudette and myself in the live chat. And I would love to hear one word about how you're feeling today. I'd love to hear that as well. And Claudette, I know you've been on the show, and we all love you so much, but I'm still going to make you share a little bit about who you are and what you do for everybody who's new to you.
Okay, I thought you might do that.
Yep.
Yes, well, I guess it's safe to say that I am a creative. I've been working as a visual artist since the mid-1990s. I started adding the written and spoken word to my repertoire around 2010, I guess. And then so I've written some poetry, and a couple of years ago, I had a book published, Smelling Roses, A Tale of Connection and Transformation. And right now, I'm a diamond beauty appearing on your show, and just really enjoying the new community that I found and the new way of sharing my gifts, because I feel that my journey has been a gift as well. And I know that sharing the journey might inspire others who are, traveling along the way, as we all do. And so I'm excited to have this kind of platform now to be upfront and talking about my gifts, about my journey, and hopefully inspiring and helping others.
Oh, I'm so excited. I love that so much. And your book is so beautiful. And the poetry that you write is so beautiful. And I know we've been talking in the Ajatakasha community and back and forth individually, but there's a lot of energy. I think it's worth talking about all this energy we were just talking about. There's a lot going on right now. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about what you're thinking and feeling is going on, because I imagine a lot. If I'm feeling it and you're feeling it, I'm guessing a lot of people who are watching are also feeling it.
Definitely, in whatever context you want to put it in, the energy is very high and very erratic. I think it's kind of like a roller coaster ride where one day you're feeling really great, the next day you're not sure and you're tired. And like I said, I even woke up this morning feeling a bit dizzy. So the energy is definitely swirling, and I think it's just due to big changes that are happening, and they're happening, I think, more rapidly than they ever have energy-wise. And the world is just spinning a little faster, I think, than it used to.
Yeah, it's really wild. Like, I'm with you. We were just talking off air about, I also felt kind of dizzy and weird this morning, and had definitely having some physical things going on with myself today as well. So I'm curious, I'll pull up the Schumann resonance here while we're talking and see what that is. But yeah, there's definitely some energy going on. And of course, we have like very intense astrology. And one of the amazing things that's happening is it seems like there's this massive opening to the other dimensions. I feel like this like huge portal somehow has opened up. And I want to talk about that a little bit, because I know, your book, Smelling Roses, is about a channel, but I also know that you channel and I channel, and I think it's worth talking about that. So Where are you at with all of that and everything that's coming through you?
Whew. Yeah, I'm kind of processing all of it, you know. As you know, we get signs and symbols and things that catch our attention and kind of make us feel like this is important for me. And it's opening, how should I say it, my vision as far as seeing myself and my mission a little more clearly, you know. And I think what's important when we get these signs, synchronicities, and because there's so much out there right now with people pulling cards and this and that, that the feeling that you get is what you need to focus on. You know, if you read something or you see a card, you read a message, whatever it is, and you feel that energy expanding and inside of you, it's definitely more than just, you know, somebody pulling a card. It's really a message that you need to tune into and listen to. You know, and other times you'll read it, it's beautiful, but it doesn't really, you know, rev up your energy. And so it's fine. And then other times you have to be careful. I think, you know, you may read something that might tickle your ego about you, and you have to kind of discern that as well, you know. And like I say, right now, as you know, there's lots of stuff out there. And, you know, it's beautiful, but it's a lot sometimes. And like I say, catching that feeling that you feel is what you need to really tune into. If it's expanding and you're feeling it in your heart and you're excited and you're revved up, yeah, you know. And I've had some of those kind of moments where it's like, I've just kind of been on fire. It's like, as we say, the Shakti, the feminine energy is just out of control. And it's like, there's no denying that, you know, when it happens. So, you know, and it happened actually in a big way when you invited me to participate in that Sunday show that's coming up. I don't know if you're talking about it yet.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been kind of searching for a way to incorporate my words with my paintings, and I've never really, for me, I never really liked putting words on paintings. You know, that's just my aesthetic, and so I've always kind of kept them separate. But as you see, what I produce, kind of a slideshow with my work and my writing, and it just was amazing how I've said the same things in paintings as I say with my words. So for me to see that, it was also confirmation, you know, that my message is mine, you know, however way I put it out there, it has my thumbprint on it. So, so thank you for that. Like when I was doing that, I felt so energetic. I actually had to just rest afterwards. That's how much energy was swirling around that. So I know it's leading somewhere. You know, it's a first step and it's leading somewhere. So thank you again for that invitation.
Oh yeah,
Well,
what you said was beautiful. And for everybody out there, we are premiering a brand new Sunday morning series the first Sunday of every month. So it's coming up, and we actually should have those premieres up in the next day or two here. So I'm really close. You know, that's the thing about movie making, isn't it, Claudette? You think you're going to get done, and then there's more to do to edit and get it exactly right. But yeah, what you sent me was so profound, and actually what everyone contributed. There's a collective of us, for everybody out there listening, that contributed a piece to really have our own kind of our own Sunday service in a very spiritual, Shakti filled way. And it's just profound. I mean, it's an incredible mix of music and poetry and nature and all put together. So it's been an honor to receive those and to be able to put them together into one video. So it was really inspiring. So, and I, you know, what you're saying is so true. When you feel inspired and something's just coming through you, there's really no stopping. And it is kind of amazing. Like once you're done, it's like, and it's out of you, then there's like this rest period. It's like, okay, I can't think or do anything anymore.
Exactly.
It all got out. But it feels like this like drive, like this push to create something. And I had that happen with this painting behind me on this side, I guess.
Yes.
You know, I had that incredible experience with this Aboriginal energy over the weekend. And it just was like, I woke up yesterday and it was like, you have to paint this out. And I did. And it didn't matter what else I had going on. It was like, I have to just get this out of me. And I don't even feel like I completed what I felt like I needed to do from a creative perspective, but there's still so much energy flowing through around it. I'm still discovering. Isn't it interesting how spirit just leads you on this journey of discovery and you have to kind of let it unfold?
You certainly do, you know, and, you know, the first step mightn't show you the whole picture. So it's just important to follow that first nudge, and believe me, there'll be another one, and then you'll see, oh, okay. So, you know, important to follow that initial nudge and just do it without knowing really where it's going to end up. But again, that feeling that you have and acting on it, you can be sure it's going to lead somewhere, and somewhere that you need to go for sure, you know. And as I was commenting before the show, you are a great example of just doing, you know, with all the things that you had to do. You got up that morning and painted, you know, because you felt that strong nudge. And that's, you know, it's everything. It's everything, you know. We often put everything aside to do what we have to do, you know, everyday things. And sometimes it's better to just leave that stuff and do what you're called to do and get to that later, you know. You know, that's a lesson that I often need to learn. You know, I like to do everything I'm supposed to do and then sit down and do what I really want to do.
I'm the same way. I mean, you have this like long to-do list and it's like, ooh, I don't want to put that aside. And I've definitely learned how to put that aside to do other things, but it's tough it's also tough. You know, I am that person, like you said, like I take action on what comes through. And sometimes there's a lot that comes through. And I often am like, okay, how am I going to do all these things that keep coming through?
Yeah.
And self-care is my journey. You know, my lesson isn't taking action. My lesson is actually when to not take action. And I'm wondering how you manage that. I think, you know, as a creative person, we get these creative flows and you can tend to not sleep or anything. Like you're just like working, you know, you're just creating this thing and letting it come through you. So how do you find your balance?
Well, I have to say that I usually get a very good night's sleep. If I have something on my mind creatively, I find that if I go to sleep with that in my mind, a question or an idea, or whatever, when I wake up in the morning, the answer is there. So I'm blessed that way. I really have no trouble getting a good night's sleep, and I get on the average at least 8 hours sleep. So I couldn't do it otherwise. Since I was a baby, I had to get my sleep. And so, and I'm fortunate that, you know, being a creative, I'm not on a time clock, you know, so if I get up in the morning and I take a little bit longer to just enjoy my coffee or whatever, you know, I can do that, you know, and so, and I do, you know, at this stage, I've done so much that if I feel like I need to just be for a while, I will. Yeah, I will. And, you know, reading inspirational things or just zoning out sometimes, you know, watching, you know, Say Yes to the Dress on TV. Just every once in a while, just I need to zone out, you know, and then you come back more refreshed and everything is clearer. So I have no trouble, you know, really listening to that, you know. And I usually manage to get everything done, maybe just a little later in the day or whatever. So I give myself permission.
Yeah, we can take a lesson from you for sure because it's hard. Like I have a hard time because when I slow down and I take a break, I get like 1,000 more ideas. And then it's like, well, this isn't helping me.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that about you, Lisa. Yeah, that's tough. So you just got to, I guess you have to find a way to rein it in and prioritize. And So yeah, we all have our different, way we deal with energy and ideas and life and how we come into the world, and you just have to kind of find your way and find a way to take care of yourself as well, and so everybody's different, I'm sure. So as I say, I'm blessed with being able to get a really good night's sleep, no trouble sleeping, and I love the dream time. So I'm excited to go to sleep.
Yes, I'm the same way. It's like, oh, where am I going tonight? What am I doing?
What's going to happen tonight? It's exciting, and there's, sometimes it's nothing, but sometimes it's pretty amazing. And like I say, if I go to bed with a question or an idea in my head in the morning, it's usually clear. Yeah. So
I love it.
I let the subconscious take over, I guess, during the night and find the idea for me there.
I love that. What's your favorite dream you've ever had? What's your favorite dream?
Wow, there's been a few really good ones. I can tell you a funny one I had just probably about a month ago. It was really funny, and it was so apropos, and it really told me that, okay, I think you've dealt with your shadow issues. And it was, I was in a house, it wasn't my house, and there were people around, and it was like in the basement, there was King Kong. And we knew he was down there and he was making noise and, King Kong beating his chest. And then somebody called me up and said, I've come to this island to get away from King Kong. I said, well, sorry, but he's here. He's still here. And I said, but don't worry. I'm going to invite him up for dinner. And so it is so funny. King Kong came up to dinner and he had a jacket and a tie on, and he was so polite. And I thought, I guess I faced my fears and I've dealt with all this because I welcomed him up there and he was so nice and polite to everybody. So that was a recent, very funny dream. I've never had a dream like that way before.
Wow, I love that. Oh my God, that's amazing.
So I figured I've conquered, I guess, a lot of my major fears. So with the information, and also the fact that I told this person, I didn't even know the person that, you can't run away. He's here. He had left an island to come to this island to get away from King Kong, and I said, sorry, but he's here. So there's a few layers to it, and. Oh gosh, I've had some amazing dreams. Some of them are a bit long to go into, but I had a dream. And often I'm just kind of walking in an everyday little place, like down a path, and there are vendors selling little things. Like I've had a couple of dreams that way. The first one, it was kind of like a fair, and there were booths going, you can go and stop and buy a few things. And this was quite a while ago. And so I stopped at a booth and there was a lady there, and she grabbed something up on the top shelf and she gave it to me. She said, this is for you. I said, oh, how much is it? And she said, no, it's a gift. And when I looked at it, it was a heart-shaped locket. And then it had a banner on the top of it that just said, teach love.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And then, not that long ago, and I kind of discovered Mooji and started really listening to his pointings, and I love him. And I realized I had seen him in a dream before, and I knew it was, then when I saw Mooji, I knew who that person had been. Again, I was walking down a path. There was a little path. There were people on the side of the path selling things, little vendors and stuff. And as I was walking by, this fellow who looks just like Mooji stopped me, and he looked me straight in the eye and he said, Iris. And then he said, 1 minute. And he went in his little bag and was looking for things. And it looked like pieces of jade, sticks of jade. And he saw one with an inscription on it. He put it in a little paper bag, and he handed it to me. And as I was walking away, I looked in the bag, and the jade stick became a living bamboo. And then it sprung a really fragrant little white flower. And Yeah, and another gift. And, I never really thought to Iris. It was so, he stopped, he looked me in the eye and he said, Iris. And I just thought he was talking about my iris in my eye because he looked me straight in the eye. But as I researched Iris, there was a lot of symbolism around it as being a link between heaven and earth, that like a rainbow, and the goddess, I can't remember, Iris, who was a messenger from the gods to the earthly plane. And again, this message of being a link or a channel, came in through that iris symbolism. And then jade is all good things as well. Bamboo. I mean, all the symbolism was so wonderful, but that word iris was really what was important in that dream to tell me, again, teach love, and you're a messenger. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Oh my God, I love those dreams. Karen,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Karen's sharing, she said, yes, we are all so good of taking care of other people, but sometimes we forget how important it is to take care of ourselves, and sleeping is good too. And Hope said the vibrations must be high because her dad just accepted 2 jars that she made him, filled with different crystals. She said she's so proud of his willingness and curiosity at 72 years old. That's really amazing.
Wow. That is amazing. Right. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It feels like there's so much magical synchronicity this week. Like, I can't even begin to explain the multiple scenarios this week where it's like, my God, if you did not believe in magic and serendipitous events, this week proved it to me, and I didn't need it to prove it. But it seems like there's, like you said about the earth spinning faster, it feels like there's so much happening all at once. This month is a really big deal. I feel like this whole month is a big deal.
Yeah, and it's just begun, right? Mm-hmm. March. Yeah. Begun, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even as I've been booking shows, it's like, my gosh, there's a lot of people coming on the show this month, and it just feels like the energy is really high.
It is, yeah. And I think those synchronicities and signs are just coming like lightning rods right now, more than ever before, because the time is now, and there's no more time to waste. And so we're getting, I think, all of the information that to spur us along at a faster rate, and more of it. That's what I find anyway. Like, there's no denying that message. It's for you, and do something. Definitely. We have jobs to do, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. So definitely, it's unbelievable, really, how the change is happening right in front of us. It used to be a lot more subtle, and now it's like it's happening. You feel it, you see it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. One of the things I say is the focus of this whole year, it just really landed with me, and it kind of drives home every single day from Spirit, is that 2021 is about bringing God source into form. Like, that is the focus. Whatever is happening up here in your mystical idea land, it's about bringing it into form. And so I want to ask you, what is your process of bringing that into form, and what does channeling that Shakti energy, the God source energy, as you're painting or writing or drawing? Because I think so many people want to know how to connect or what to do when they feel connected. And I'd love for you to share, like, what's your process, and how do you do all of that?
Wow, that's $1 million question. And it's really hard to really describe how to do that. Number one, you have to acknowledge the nudge, and then you have to, sit down and start something, and get out of your way. For instance, painting wise, I might read something that I find inspiring, or even just see a form that I like, or a position of the body that I like, and I'm at that point. and it's just a very kind of basic idea. And on the drawing pad, I will start playing with that image. And as I'm playing with it, things start to happen. It's called being in the zone, I guess. It really is. You kind of leave this physical reality, and really you're in that world of the creation, and you start doodling or whatever, and then you start expanding on the image, and then you see really what is developing. And then at a certain point, I see, okay, I see something here, and then that's when I'll get onto a canvas. And at least this is what I do now. I get on the canvas and kind of follow the drawing that I did on the pad. I put it onto the canvas, and then as I start paint, I never know which. I don't ever see the whole thing in color right away. It's more just the image and the shapes, and then I will pick color that is it's speaking to me, and I'll start with that color, and then I'll start coloring the whole thing in. And once the color is on, things start to develop even more. And you might say, okay, well, I thought that tree was to go like that. The painting, in other words, it starts speaking to you. There's a dialogue that happens between you and the painting, and then you just follow the dialogue, and it's always magical, when you can just let that dialogue flow and continue listening and continue doing something. Sometimes there's a happy accident, and you think, oh my God, I see that, and you go with it. So it's really, it's not a step-by-step process. The main thing is leaving the world behind and getting into that world, and then having a dialogue with whatever you're creating. And the same with writing. I just get totally lost, and any little thing is like, it's total distraction and really upsets me because I'm in it. And it's like, for instance, my little doggy Mojito, he'll start, I'm right into it, and he'll start making noise like he wants to go outside. And I'm thinking, and you just, again, you don't want to break that spell that you're under, but sometimes you have to. But the longer you can just be, you need to give yourself time, in other words, to be undistracted in your studio or wherever you are, and just have enough space, time, and quiet to get into that world and just let the magic happen. Let the dialogue begin, and just keep going with the dialogue until it doesn't speak to you anymore. Same for writing, same thing. I'll read something over and over and over again, and if I feel I need to read and there's sticking points, it's still telling me not quite yet, and I'll just keep doing it until there's no sticking anymore. It just flows. Yeah, and it takes time, it takes patience, but it's like you say, there's no way you can't do it. You just have to do it because it's happening, and you're not going to leave it. You can't say, oh, that's good enough, because no, it's not good enough. It's still talking to you. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's the magic of creativity, Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sure you felt that when you were creating your painting back there, didn't you? A little bit, the dialogue and the.
Yeah. It was like you get into a space, and then you're like, oh, this feels good. And then you kind of sit back and go, you know what? There's something else I need to do here. And I love what you're talking about, the sticking points with the writing, because I've been working on my second book, and it's one of those things, just like you said, like you have to, you write, and, you feel those spots, like you're saying, where it's like, ooh, this isn't quite how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to like rework it. I'm in that point right now where, the first 60 pages, I've got to go back through and do exactly what you're saying, which is, okay, I've got to go in and actually, because you've got to be in this flow. And I feel like especially when I'm writing about my own life, and I feel like you get in this, you're kind of dumping the story out, But then you go back through and much like you, it's like I have to be in this space. I actually have a playlist I made myself of songs that reminded me of this particular time period I'm writing about. So I play that music and I have to get in this zone where it's like, okay, like I'm really like channeling and bringing the writing through and the messages. And I part of what I did is I wanted to share my story, but I also have to share what spirit wants to say about the story. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, is going back through and allowing spirit to really speak about what they want. And so I love how you're describing those sticking points, because when you're writing, you do get to that point where it's not quite flowing, but you have to kind of keep going, and then you have to go back through, and it's a journey.
Yeah, it is a journey, but it's so worth it at the end. It's such a, yeah, there's no feeling like it when you've put something out there that you're totally satisfied with. Yeah, and that piece, Shadow Dragon, that I wrote, I shared it on the Ajatakasha, and I was just sitting on the couch, just not really, I guess, zoning out period. And there's a little notebook on the coffee table with the pen, and I just heard, "Why don't you write?" I said, "Okay." So I listened and I picked it up, and the first sentence that came up was, "She had conjured up a dragon." And I thought, where on earth did that come from? And then, I just continued with it, and it was like, wow, it's something really. I think I loved what came out afterwards. It took some work, but again, I wasn't quite sure, because I thought it's kind of unusual. But then I shared it with a few people, and they were like, "Wow, that's pretty amazing!" With the Writers Club, and everybody had such a reaction to it. And I thought, wow, because it's hard to separate yourself and be objective. But that is a really good example of just listening and picking up the pen and writing the first thing, or the first sentence that comes out, and seeing what happens. And again, it was kind of an echo of you've done the shadow work, because it's about dealing with the shadow. I have it here. I don't know if you want me to read it.
Yes, I was just going to ask you. So yes, I want to hear it. I'm excited. Share, please.
And it is the first thing that I wrote, I think, this year. Anyway, so here it goes. Shadow Dragon. She had conjured up a dragon, not a Puff the Magic type of dragon, but a medieval beast of the Game of Thrones variety. She had managed to escape it several times in various nightmares, and now here it was appearing in her morning meditation. She inhaled deeply, and on the exhale looked the beast straight in the eyes. When it flared its nostrils, a chill ran up her spine. When the flames engulfed her, there was an unexpected sense of calm. Thought forms rose in her awareness, phantoms rising from a stagnant pool of sweet nostalgia that had been soured by various strains of pain and trauma. And as they rose, she witnessed their incineration. The vision induced an acrid smell of burnt sugar doused with vinegar, an assault on the senses which triggered a loud and violent sneeze. And as she sneezed, she envisioned all of the ancient patterns and destructive behaviors which had been hindering her freedom exit her energy field and evaporate. "Bless you," screeched the dragon as it rose and spread its wings. "Fearing me, you expected pain. Facing me, your pain has been transmuted." And in a puff of smoke, it vanished, leaving the air around her cleansed with the sweetness of frankincense and myrrh. She inhaled deeply. On the exhale, she bowed her head in reverence, and in the sacred sound of silence, she heard, "You have faced and embraced your shadow, dear one, and now you are the dragon. Let your words be lit with the fire of truth, that the truth be the wings on which others are lifted to freedom."
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Yeah.
so beautiful. Cauldron came to visit while you were reading. She knew the energy was
she's so
coming
pretty.
through. So sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
So
that's
just an example.
beautiful.
It's an example that is showing you your inside, your healing when you let that happen. You know, it's a mirror for you. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mirror for you, and hopefully an inspiration for others. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank
Karen
you.
sharing. Hi, Karen. So just so everybody knows, Karen is the one who's writing all of these beautiful articles about all
Hi,
of these
Karen.
beautiful women, and they're all up on my blog. And Karen is saying, for me, I have been completely surprised lately. She's been waking up almost every morning with a poem in her head. She says, I immediately write it down before being disturbed. That's really beautiful, Karen. We got to
Excellent.
get you
Yeah,
on here to share your poems. We
for
should have like
sure.
a poem reading show. Wouldn't that be fun to share all the things we're
Yeah,
writing and channeling? And
it would. It would definitely. Yeah, you know, because poetry touches the heart. You know, as Hafiz, I think, was which I love his poetry, said something like, um, "When someone writes a beautiful poem, the universe reveals a secret." Don't you love that?
oh, that's beautiful. Yes, I love that so much.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. What are you doing with your writing? Let's talk about that. Are you writing another book or what are you doing with all this
Well,
poetry?
no, I'm not. I haven't started another book. The next thing I wrote after the Shadow Dragon was Joy Journal, which you've heard, and I haven't shared it yet. But yeah, that's what I wrote, and I've been kind of feeling, um, you know, to start painting again. But it's going to be, I think, something different. So it's I haven't, you know, I did do a little bit of painting since I'm in my new studio, but nothing, just kind of having fun, nothing really fresh. And I know there's something new that's going to be coming out. So I'm gearing up for that as well. But I've been just really enjoying putting these things together, like I say, for your show. And hopefully that will keep me writing every month.
Well, yeah,
Your
for
baby.
sure. You know, we need
Yeah.
those
So,
we need a platform for those creative outlets. So it's like an honor to be able to have one. And it's really funny, Claudette, because it's like, why didn't we all do this before? Like I was thinking the other day, I'm like, I love making film. I love being creative. I love sitting here and talking to you. I love what I do. I really do love
yeah.
what I'm doing here on Buddhist Biohacker and what we're doing in our community, which is so beautiful for everybody who hasn't joined Ajata Kasha yet. I mean, the content is just like so incredible
It
in
is.
there. And we're just
It
really like the energy is flowing like crazy. And I just was thinking the other day, I'm like, why didn't we do this before and why didn't we realize it? You know what I mean? Don't you ever look back and say,
is.
why didn't I paint before? Like, it's like a funny thing
Wow.
how it just suddenly opens up.
Nothing happens before its time, and thank you for doing it, you know. And it's such a wonderful space. I really say anytime I enter that space, I feel like at home, although I really haven't met too many people physically. I feel like they're really my community, you know, my family. A lot of wonderful, like you say, people and content, and there's a freedom there because you're amongst like-minded people to just be completely free with how you're sharing, you know, which it's different on the other platforms because there's all types of, you know, people, and not everybody might hear the message the same way. So, you know, you may be a little more careful what you put on those things. But on Ajitakasha, it's a beautiful sharing spot, and feels like home. Feels like home. So thank you, you know, and anybody who wants to be a part of a beautiful, positive community with people who want to make the world a better place by developing and sharing their gifts. Yeah, no better place. So Ajitakasha, join, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel
I
like
love
those
hearing
who
this
aren't
from
like,
you. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. So I just was saying, and I feel like those who are not of that mind probably wouldn't want to join, you know. So you know, you want to keep that energy on the site, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I think my intention is, the people meant to find it will. And
Yeah,
that includes everybody who's watching right now. And this week,
exactly.
especially, I've noticed this week, I just feel like when you go in there, I love what you're saying about it feeling like home. Cause yeah, it's like, oh, all my favorite people. Like, I think when you go into mainstream social media, you don't always see the people you actually want to see. And what I
Mhm.
love about it is you go in, it's like, oh, there's everybody I love, and they're sharing such amazing things and creative things and sharing themselves and being authentic.
Yeah,
It's just really great. So I'm glad you love it.
yeah,
I'm honored
important
to
stuff.
have done it. Spirit was like,
Mhm.
hey, you're going to do this thing
Mhm.
like in December. And we built it, my niece and I,
Mhm.
over the holidays. So it was like a very fast, like,
Yeah.
okay, we're going. So
Wow,
what
really good. Well, mhm. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, what's up for you for 2021? So it sounds like you're doing some new art, but what are you feeling about this year and
No,
where?
not well, the amazing thing as I look back on my life is that I was always really going with the flow. I never really had a lot of concrete plans. I was just kind of going with life, and it hasn't done me wrong. So right now, I don't think I think this time period is not really one for looking ahead too far. It's about being right here, right now, listening and doing as things come along. At least that's what I feel, and that's how I've lived my life, and that's what I continue to do. So, right now, this new community and the things you're doing and the things I'm getting involved with, and just being out there in a more public way, in a broader way, um, I think is opening up this new stage of my journey, and it feels new. And again, there have been many indications, synchronicities that have said that, especially with Hurricane Dorian. Before that, I was kind of in a zone where I knew something new was coming, but didn't quite know where it was going. And, being in that foggy zone, then it came and kind of wiped away the past. Say, okay, you're having trouble letting go of all that. We're going to help you out. So for me, it's been a question of letting go because I know there's something new. And the letting go has been hard because it's been a really strong identity, for me, uh, and so I've had to kind of let it go and allow whatever this new flower is, give it room to bloom. And so again, I'm going with how I feel, and it feels right. And I don't really know where it's going yet, but I think I'm on the right path, and I'm doing it. I'm going to continue writing and painting and sharing. That's as far as I know right now. And there'll be another book for sure. For sure. You've read Smelling Roses, Lisa?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So
And I
you
know
see,
there's another book. I know there's one.
I've left, and I've left some things open there. So it's interesting because I think it'll be a little bit different than again I imagine. So I'm not quite ready yet. It's a big undertaking to start a book,
Mhm.
and it's fun, but it takes up a lot of time. And yeah, and I'm such a single focus kind of person. Like if I'm doing a painting, if I'm painting, I'm painting. Like I'm not going to write while I'm painting. I'm focused. When I'm writing, and yeah, so until I'm ready to dedicate all of my time to a book, yeah, I don't think I should step there right now because I think my time is being used the way it needs to be. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the book writing, let me tell you. I
Yeah.
made
Well,
myself
yeah.
do it. I committed to my publisher. I was like, okay, I'm just going to commit because like you said, it's such a big energy and it's like I'm like if I don't commit, I'm never going to do it. So I need to just do it, but it's tough, but I can't wait for your next book because unbelievable what you're channeling and what the teachings and the Shakti and the lessons and
Yeah.
all the things that are inside of it are so beautiful. And the next thing is going to be just as beautiful, if not more. And I'm just excited about that for you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. And obviously, Lisa, you were really good at multitasking. So I'm sure you can handle writing a book and doing all of the other things. You're one of those people that can do a lot, a lot at one time. That's how your energy is. So good on you, because it can't be easy trying to get a book finished and doing all of these shows and opening up new apps and communities, and it's your mission, right? I feel that definitely. And the movie making, I mean, the documentary that you showed the clip from, I mean, it's so well done. That's the first thing you've ever put together movie wise? Yeah.
Yes.
I
mean, I played around with it when I was a teenager, but I kind of even forgot about that till my parents reminded me. Because I was like, do you think it's weird that I'm making film? I don't even know what I'm doing, but I really, it's really fun. And Julie Hoyle, who we all love so much, she's the very first episode, and it's premiering on Friday, March 26th. For everybody who saw the trailer, and the trailer is available on the YouTube channel for you to watch. But I have 15 interviews, and I plan on doing more. And Claudette, we should do one because I know you have a story of awakening. But these stories are unbelievable.
They are
unbelievable. The energy is so incredible, and so what I've decided to do is make each interview its own episode so that you can really immerse yourself in the Shakti of that person and the teachers that came through and what they experienced. And then I will create a film. I want to get a film of Awakened Grace to the film festivals. But you know what you're talking about, Claudette, about I almost said Claudine. I was putting your name together.
I get that. I get Claudine. Well, Claudine, because Claudette Dean, right?
Yeah, it's like what is flowing through me right now? I don't even feel like I'm talking. But when you're talking about the creative process and letting it flow, I had this like inspiration that, because making a movie is hard, especially these stories are so potent. And so it's like, how do you make a 2-hour movie? Like, that's really hard out of 15 hours of like incredible content,
Yeah.
And so it landed in me that I'm going to do these interviews as episodes so I can really immerse myself in the story. And I feel like by the time I get done, I'll be very clear about how I want to clip together and produce the final film for that will, go out into the world. But it's so tough. And I think when you watch the film and it's so short of all these incredible stories, now you'll have a place to go to watch all the individual stories. So I kind of backtracked what I was doing and decided to do it a different way, but it really feels good. I feel like it's going to be a really profound way. I mean, and just editing Julie's video, I mean, the teachers that we have that she's sharing, their images and their energy is just unbelievable. So I feel like part of my own profound shift in the energy this week came from like editing that video and watching her interview like 100 times. And it was like, oh my gosh, this energy is so powerful.
Yeah.
So it's really been just a gift. So I've never done anything like this before, but I really love it. And I think I'm really good at it. So I'm going to go with it. I think, I'm a writer for sure, and I'm going to continue to write. But I do think that video and film is like the age of Aquarius. It's really bringing technology, and it's a different energy than the written word. But I think that's where we're headed, don't you?
I do too. Yeah. And I think that, you're a writer, but I think you're going to be making some movies. I kind of feel that. I think it's just the whole package is there, and I think with the documentary or movie making, the director always seems to have a vision of how he wants it to look, so that might be a focal point. And I think that's where that flow will come in, when you have a vision set, then the rest kind of follows. Right, especially with that kind of how you see it, how you're seeing it through the lens, and Yeah. So that's what makes it great. I think that the vision that the director, the producer brings to the whole package. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
excited. This episode with Julia came out it's really
I
beautiful.
bet.
And
Yeah.
it's really cool. I'm learning about YouTube, and for everybody who's watching, the premiere it's on Friday the 26th. It's our 1-year anniversary of OHO, One Heart, One Earth, and Buddhist Biohacker. And we're premiering it at 11 a.m. because we love that number 11. But what's cool, Claudette, is with the premiere, everyone can live chat and watch the premiere together. So when it goes live, all of us are going to be able to watch it together and have live chat like during the episode while we're watching it. So it's kind
I
of like
love
you're at the
that.
movies with a group of people you
That
love. So
is
I'm really,
wonderful.
isn't that
That
cool?
that is really cool, and so today, and so what's happening. Yeah, it's really cool. Love it.
The more I
Can't
learn
wait to
about
see it.
YouTube, the more I love it.
Pardon?
I said the more I learn about YouTube, the more I love it.
Yeah, I know. It's such a great, venue for just for discovering and sharing. You can find everything on just about. I hear about TikTok. I haven't actually been on it, but a lot of people are getting discovered on TikTok as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's video all the way. And you have beautiful art behind you. I want to make sure before we close that you are able to share with everyone how they can find you and find your art, because Claudette has so many beautiful prints. I'll never forget that initial picture I saw, I think on Facebook, like months and months ago. And I was like, who is this person? I want to meet her. And I just am so grateful we're connected. But if you want to share with everybody how they can find you, how they can find your art, what you have going on right now. Your book too.
Right. Well, you can find everything, my book, my art, and how to purchase prints and originals and all of that on my website, which is claudettedean.com. And you can order the book directly from there. I also have a book of art and poetry and videos. And you can order. I have a few originals for sale, and you can get prints. You can get my images on via Fine Art America, on mugs, on notebooks, and all of that. There's a direct link there on my website. So it's simple, and that's where I'm at right now. And I'm on Instagram at Claudette _Dean. Facebook, and and I am also working. And because of the Ajatakasha app and sharing this piece, Shadow Dragon, on there was a synchronicity with Raquel Bravo, who's on there, who had pulled a dragon card, and then we connected, and she has a blog, and and she asked me if I'd be the feature writer on her blog in April. So that was a connection I made. And she wants me to select a painting and write about it, and she's going to feature it on her blog, The Stillness Within, on Instagram in April. So I've been working on that. That's actually all day yesterday I worked on that. And again, it's just it's amazing, because as I look at the painting now, there's always symbolism in my work, and I see even more symbolism in it now than when I painted it. Like, it's getting more is being revealed, so it's an amazing thing. So that's a nice thing that happened. So, opening doors that way, definitely.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that. So yes, so everyone go connect in with Claudette. You have so much to offer. And of course, Claudette's in the Ajatakasha community. So when you get in there, you'll be able to find her in there as well. And thank you, Claudette, so much for being a Diamond Beauty and being a part of this show and the community and my life. And I'm just so, so grateful for you. And I feel like there's just so much to unfold for you and I together too. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for everything. And I'm beyond grateful for everything.
Oh, me too. And so much love to everybody out there. I love you too. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to click subscribe if you haven't already. And we are back tomorrow with This Morning with me and Delisa at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And then we have one more Diamond Beauty this week, tomorrow evening, with Sheila Rasmussen, who is a female shaman. So it's really exciting to have her back on the show. And then we have a little Diamond Beauty break. I think we come back in April and we're going to shift the time. So keep that in mind for everybody if you're watching the schedule. And then just a reminder, we have Aaron Abke coming up on March 17th. Those of you who love him and love the Law of One and the energy of Ra, who is channeled in the Law of One. That's one of the big things that Aaron Abke teaches, and he's a huge guest for us. So we're really excited to have him on St. Patrick's Day. And thank you to all of our members. Thank you, Karen. I love this new. We have our own emojis. So in case you guys didn't know, in the YouTuber world, you can join my community on YouTube. We have 4 emojis just for us that I designed myself. And you can see the video and all those emojis. If you click join on YouTube, it just tells you all the information. So I won't waste our time here. But thank you so much, Karen, and for being one of our first members. And just thank you, Claudette. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you soon.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
everybody.